Welcome to Fix My Deck, episode 19. Today we're going to be discussing Lord of the Nazgûl. He is from Lord of the Rings. He's 5 mana, blue and black. He has flying. He gives his Wraiths protection from ring bearers. And he says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 3/3 black Wraith creature token with menace. Then if you control 9 or more Wraiths you control have base power and toughness 9/9 until end of turn. And this player is doing a Spellslinger deck that creates tokens when spells are slinged. Makes a lot of sense. What's not working?
Oh,
They
is the
said it
audio not
lacks.
working?
Oh, can
Oh,
you hear me? No, I'm
yeah, no,
trying
it's
to parse this. So they
yeah,
said, they lack power or basic
yeah, it's
spell scoring support.
consistency and budget, I think are the big things.
Yeah, and they said they'd like to have actual race and overrun effects if possible.
Yeah, they mentioned that this was built from kind of like their leftover precons and kind of the random stuff that they have in their collection. And so it's like, okay. I mean, like, I think that is likely the indicator where it's like why you're not running, like why it isn't consistent. So I think there are just some cards in here that are less potent, I guess is the like best way to describe it. Like, what is it? I don't think Tolarian Terror does a lot in an EDH game.
No, that card's pretty weak. Arcanus is probably not what we need. There's a lot of
I,
stuff.
I like
Uh,
Arcanus, but like it's also probably not necessary.
yeah, I mean, I would
But
be focused. I mean, Arcanus is 6 mana and it's kind of slow. I'd rather just have an instant or sorcery to draw
that draws a
cards.
card. Yeah, I think the first thing we should focus on is actually adding more mana rocks in the Dimir colors because the Spellslinger deck doesn't do anything unless you have Lord of the Nazgûl out, and you want to make that happen as soon as possible.
Yeah, they have a couple other ways to generate tokens, but those are all pretty weak tokens. Like, yeah, really, we want more mana so we can get Lord of the Nazgûl out. And, ultimately, this is going to be sort of a control deck, and you want more mana with control.
So when it comes to
If I want Dimir
mana,
Talisman.
it's the is the talisman in there? Yeah, I would add the talisman. Um, I would also add what is the thought vessel? Because I don't think it has thought vessel in there.
Yeah, Thought Vessel is fine.
Thought vessel. I'd also add midnight. I'm a huge fan of midnight clock. Mini Demir deck.
Yeah, I like that card a lot.
It's and the Demir talisman is talisman of they have talisman of dominance. I would also consider adding Sky Diamond and Charcoal Diamond, even though they come into play tapped. I think they're still pretty good.
Yeah,
Just more 2 mana rocks, and maybe even Everflowing Chalice.
yeah, Everflowing Chalice is a good one.
While we're on the mana base, let's just see. Don't want to spend a lot of money, but adding a few more where we can. Uh, did they have a choked estuary in there?
Um,
Yeah,
Choked.
I would add a choked estuary. Uh, Tainted Isle if they don't have it. Maybe a Dark Water Catacombs.
Yeah, these are all good, cheap color fixing.
Oh, and
Oh,
Demir Aqueduct. I like bounce lands. I know lots of people are like, boo bounce lands, but I don't know. They're fine in the like slightly lower power level.
Yeah, they're a perfectly acceptable budget option. I think we should get some more mana rocks in here too. Like, I think Patrick Banner is $6. I didn't realize that because that could be a good option. Oh,
What
Felwar
color are
Stone.
the Wraiths?
Yeah, I want to check that.
Black. Oh, then you could what is the 3 mana rock that uh makes all creatures of a color get +1/+0 and tap for that color? Heraldic Banner. No, is it Heraldic Banner?
It's something.
I'm trying to remember what that card is called.
Heraldic Banner. Let's see. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one because it's a mana rock and it'll help buff these guys a little bit. Oh, we should put Wayfarer's Bauble in.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Ramping is important.
That's probably enough ramp, all things considered. And I mean, this is an area where I imagine you could really make improvements. Swap again Sapphire Medallions or any of the Moxen as you want to kind of like soup up the deck.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Three Tree City would be cool in this deck.
It would be. It's high
It's
reward,
$30.
like high risk, high reward.
Three Tree City?
In a deck that doesn't play a lot of wraiths, like where most of your wraiths come from your commander, it can be kind of risky.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll get more wraiths in here, but also like, I mean, it still taps for a mana. Let's see.
Okay. Oh yes, they mentioned wanting to add some wraiths. Okay, let's see what there are. Only 11 wraiths in existence, so this might be a little tricky. And a bunch of them.
Oh, this wraith does ramp.
Which wraith does ramp?
Canoptic Wraith?
It's
It's really bad though, right?
If you do search up to 2 basic line cards with the same. Okay,
It's
so you play that on
3
turn
and
3,
3.
turn 4. You get. You may. Oh, actually, I don't know. It's an unblockable wraith, which is kind of cool, especially if you do manage to get 9 in play, and then it has base power 9/9. I think that is worth running. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh, it's $3.
Yeah, it might not be worth $3.
I would add in the shapeshifter, the changeling, the 1-drop.
Does that really work all that well with the deck though?
I guess not. I mean, it's just like, how much do you want to get? How much do you care about triggering the all wraiths get base power +9 or is 9/9 versus just the value of getting a bunch of 3/3s, which are with menace?
Well, I think you get to 3. You should be able to get to 9 wraiths, I think, from casting spells, right?
You'd hope so.
Like, I don't know how much.
But one good wrath, and then you have to start over again.
Yeah, but I mean, you're in blue-black. You should be, like, counterspelling the wraths and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of my feeling of the deck, is it's like, ramp into the commander, then make sure the commander and your board state doesn't die, and, like, counter people, spell people's stuff, and get a wraith, and...
Yeah. Okay, let's look at some of the cuts that are... Let's start making some room again. Or should we just add more cards first?
Well, we can cut... I mean, I'm cutting Arcanist, because, like... Oops, that's wrong. I'm cutting Arcanist, because it's just not that good. What is Blightwing Bandit?
I would remove the Blightwing.
Yeah, let's drop that.
Which is a cool card, just not on theme. I would also cut the Drake Hatcher. Hostage Taker is just a value play.
Yeah, it's just fun. I like it. Hullbreaker
Horror just kind of wins games. I would drop Malcolm.
Yep.
I think that's fine to keep for now. It's a
Okay.
cheap way to make tokens.
Well, that's fine.
I don't think actually cost reducers are what is my hot take is that cost reducers are kind of a non-bow in Spellslinger, in that most of the spells you should be playing are cantrips, which cost like a blue or a black or two blue, and you're not really going to get a lot of cost reduction. And
Yeah,
that,
but
like, unless you're doing the big Spellslinger, then I don't think you should actually run.
most of these spells have colorless or generic.
Yeah. And I think like mana rocks are probably more efficient.
What do you mean more efficient? Just because like it's
Or
too.
more consistent, I guess is the better word.
All right. Well, we can cut it.
Yeah, Murmuring Mystic, a good way to make tokens.
Oh
Uh,
damn, Notion Thief.
yeah, solid hate piece.
Yeah, it's a very good card.
Interesting.
I
It
don't think
does
that's worth it.
synergize, but I don't know if I would actually run it.
Yeah, it feels a little bit weak to me, and then also it's
It would be
too.
cool as the commander.
Yeah, it would be cool as the commander, but I just don't think it's a good enough. Spectral Sailor is cool.
Uh, I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, especially for an Tolarian Terror. Yeah, definitely. It's just not impactful enough for EDH.
Yeah. And then let's look at the sorceries. Boon is fine. Deadly cover up. Yeah, I guess that's a fine wrath.
Mm-hmm. Deep, that's
Deep
fine.
analysis.
Exsanguinate. Hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, finale of Revelation. Look at that.
This is not so good.
The same name. Oh, this just gets you a land. No, I would drop this.
Has the same name as a permanent. Yeah, well, I mean, I
On
guess, yeah. I guess it's not just permanent you control,
You may
but
put one of those cards on the battlefield. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean,
it is a worse retraced image.
no, yeah, it's not worth it, but it's cool
Yeah.
art.
I like using retraced image as ramp in uh like not green, but I don't I don't think it's worth it in this style of deck.
Really?
I mean it gets you one more land, but it requires that you have that like so you could play it gets you lets you play another land this turn. So you had to have two islands or two swamps in hand for it to work.
Yeah.
And I think it's much better in mono blue where you can like guaranteeably have a lot of islands,
Yeah, but
or
also if
you're
other people
playing
are
a lot
playing the
more
same
land.
lands as you, I mean, like if you have command tower and someone else plays a command tower, it works.
Yeah.
So I get that one's probably kind of up to them to decide based on how well it's worked for them.
hmm Subjugate the Hobbits. What's that card? Huh. That's a cool card. I like that it'll gain control of all tokens. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
I would keep that in.
Aetherize, I love that card.
An offer. That's solid. What's that? I would drop this.
Yeah, this doesn't feel worth it to me. We're not really trying to toxic people out.
I would also cut Blur. I'm not seeing enough ETB to make Blur worth it.
I'm guessing this is just a protection effect for like the commander.
If Yeah, but if you want to do protection, then you should play cards like Dive Down or any of the like this creature gets
Yeah,
hexproof.
that's true. Spell Dark Ritual. Defy.
I am not a huge fan of Dark Ritual. In that odds are, I don't know. I guess it gets your commander out earlier.
Yep.
Maybe, okay, never mind. Dark
Yeah, it's
Ritual's
worth
good.
it. Yeah.
Defy Gravity? Wait, what's Defy Gravity?
Oh yeah, I would
I
drop
would,
this
yeah.
because like the commander has flying, and then do these wraiths get flying? No, they
They
just have
have
menace.
Menace, which is good
But
enough.
still, the commander has flying.
Oh, what's Exclude?
Counter target creature
I
spell,
would
draw a
get rid
card.
of Exclude.
Oh really? I mean, it seems.
I If I'm running a 3 mana counter spell, I would rather it counter everything and not just a creature.
Yeah,
And
but
if I want
creature's
to
a
counter
lot.
someone's commander, then there are like specific 2 mana counter spells that you can run, like counter a commander, like Tails End counters. What is it? Activated abilities, legendary creatures, and something
Yeah, this
else.
also draws a card, which is nice.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Okay.
But we'll come back to it. What is this thing? Fake your own death. Return it to the battlefield tap. I could see that as being a way to protect the commander, but like you said, there's better options for that.
I would play the 1 mana. Like, there's a bunch of 1 mana versions of Fake Your Own Death.
Mm-hmm.
I would drop Forbidden Alchemy.
Does
I
this
think
card,
there are better
yeah,
ways
this
to
card doesn't
draw
deck doesn't
cards.
like it would be fine if this deck was a little more focused on graveyard synergies, but it's not, so you don't get that extra value out of it. Yeah, here's Ghostly Flicker, which again I just don't think it can technically
It,
protect your commander, but
no, it'll flicker the thing, and like, so say I Wrath of God.
oh yeah, well
Any
it won't
cast
protect
Ghostly
against a
Flicker.
wrath, but it'll protect against like targeted abilities and stuff, but
Sure.
it's not worth it. Go for this
Go for
throat.
the throat. It's great. Hero's
Okay.
Downfall costs too much. I think targeted creature removal should be 2 or less.
Yeah, I mean, it hits a planeswalker too, so maybe if they have a lot of planeswalkers that go against Death Touch and Indestructible till end of
This is
turn.
another card that there's like definitely a 1 mana version of this instant. Yes, there's Armor of Shadows and Professor's Warning, both of which give Indestructible for 1 mana at instant speed.
Armor of Shadows. Oh yeah, 1 mana Indestructible. What's the other one?
Professor's Warning.
Oh, there you have that.
Yeah. But I would also play, like, I would also add in Dive Down. Um, it's like the classic gives hexproof in blue.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What is okay? Maximum Overdrive. Let's get that.
Yeah, I like this card. I like that it gives Death Touch.
Eh, I just think it adding the 2 1 mana ones. I would rather play a 1 mana one than a 2 mana
That's
one.
true.
Uh, Moment of Truth. I would drop.
Yeah, again, I would use this if there's better card draw options. Maybe it would be better if there was more graveyard interaction, but
I would get rid of this polymorph card.
yeah, that's a little weak for EDH.
Instant Speed Tutor, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool, especially with flashback.
Pongify. Reality Shift. Yep. Resculpt. Snuff Out. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
That's
I've never seen
probably
this
just a
before.
draw, too.
That's kind of a neat card. I like that. That's fine. Oh, another hexproof thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then they got Leyline of Anticipation.
I would get rid of Leyline of Anticipation.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it, huh? Because we already have so many instants.
And none of the sorceries are so good that I'd be like, ooh, this is super cool to play at instant speed. Oh, I also would get rid of the Victimize. I don't think that's really worth it.
Victim. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd get rid of Victimize.
And then Mirror Room, it's a clone and a double triggered abilities. I would drop this. I'm not
Unlock the
seeing a
store.
lot of
Create a
like.
token that's a copy of target creature you control. Yeah, I mean
It.
the 7 mana portion is good, but that's too much setup. Like you don't want to have to do the 7 mana to get to that, and then start getting double triggers off Lord of the Nazgûl. We need to have more just focus on efficient spells.
Yeah.
Um, so
And
when
then I
I'm
had
just
Ghost
eyeball
Vacuum.
Ghost Vacuum,
I would also drop Ghost Vacuum.
Yeah, I think I'm eyeballing this deck. I'm just not seeing enough card draw, especially relative to the amount of spot removal. So I think getting in more card draw, which should be very easy to do.
Yeah. Need a draw engine. So like Wave Break Hippocamp is a good addition.
What is it called?
Wave Break Hippocamp.
Oh yeah, that thing.
That yeah.
I know what the art looks like.
It's the weird horsefish.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I will draw some
Baral.
card.
I would add Baral. I like Baral because he is a cost reducer, but then he also does something else.
The Brawl Chief of Compliance.
Yeah. Oh, that's 350. Okay, maybe not that one.
Yeah.
How much is Lear, Disciple of the Drown?
This. Um. 250. Oh, I've played this before, and it's a nombo if you run counter spells in your deck.
Sure.
And it's 5 mana. I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. That yeah. That spells can't be countered thing is like kind of annoying. This card, Waterlogged Teachings, looks good.
Oh, the tapped.
MDFC.
Yeah.
It's like an instant tutor.
Okay, so we need draw. I think Village Rights is not a bad. I don't know. Maybe not Village Rights. How would I want to draw cards? And I think this is where the sorceries the deck runs should be around drawing cards.
Yeah, I agree. So there's like Lorien Revealed, which is even Lord of the Rings related.
Lorien Revealed is kind of expensive. It's $3.
Okay.
I was thinking more Treasure Cruise is great.
Yeah, Treasure Cruise is very good.
What are the other good draw cards? It's the Chart a Course is always solid. Pay 2 to draw 2.
Yeah. Yeah, more mana efficient draw like that's fine. We also need some bigger or repeatable draw effects too.
I would, because this deck is trying to make tokens to attack, I would actually consider running things like Reconnaissance Mission,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the Trident, Thassa's Bident, or Thassa. What is that card?
Yeah, the Biden of Thassa. Yeah, Reconnaissance Mission and Biden of Thassa to let us draw cards when we attack is going to be useful.
And I think there are a few more now. They're all great to run. Let's see.
I'd run Distant Melody probably.
I always am. I think Distant Melody is great when you're ahead, but terrible when you're behind, which is why I don't like running it.
Yeah, I guess the thing is like, if you have only your commander out and you cast it, bare minimum, it's draw 2 for 4 mana, and then it can, if you have more race out, it can draw you quite a few more cards.
But if you have 4 Wraiths, you're doing pretty good. Uh, let's see.
I mean, I don't know. Just
How
because you
much is
have
a
rates out doesn't mean you have cards, though, right? I mean,
yeah? Oh, I would add a Curiosity Crafter. Whenever a creature token deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Let's see.
yeah, that's good. Oh, Frantic Search would be a good one. Oh, this Witch King is $10, but it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of really cool ways to enhance a deck. There's a Final Fantasy card.
Oh, this Gandalf would be
Sweet.
cool, actually. You may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one, though. Um,
And okay, there's a bunch of uh, draw X cards in blue that are pretty cheap. How much is Commander? Oh, I would totally run Commander's Insight. Love that
right.
card.
Yeah, I like that card, too.
Okay, what are the other? Not milling. Card I would add because they mentioned adding in an overrun effect. It's called Candlekeep Inspiration. It's an overlooked card from I think it was one of the Baldur's Gates. I think it was Baldur's Gate.
Tell and turn creatures you control have base power and toughness XX, or X is the number of cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. Oh yeah, that's a good one. And that's one of the things the player requested was more overrun effects.
Yeah. So I think we're definitely on our way to making the deck more consistent. And I think consistency comes from being able to draw cards to see more options, really, as well as we added a lot more mana rocks to accelerate the deck's game plan.
I'd probably put
Oh,
Ponder and Brainstorm in this deck.
yes, I would definitely run Ponder
And
and
maybe Serum
Brainstorm.
Visions.
Serum Visions, I think, is kind of expensive, but
Oh, is it?
Ponder is a 250 card. Same with Brainstorm.
I think it's probably worth it, though.
Yeah.
Like, they're very strong. Oh, yeah, Serum Vision is only $1.29. So yeah, those will be nice just to like keep getting through cards because cantrips are just really useful.
Yeah. You can do Mind Spring. That's another good one.
Draw X cards. Oh yeah, that one's a good one.
Okay. I think we're at a good point here in terms of draw, right?
Yeah, it feels a lot better to me. I think we should just cut this down and try to play test it. Now, the first thing I would
Yeah.
probably do is I would cut some lands because like we've got a lot of cantrips, so like we don't need so many lands.
Yeah, I'd get rid of. I would personally remove Thriving Isle. Although I guess it really is just like taps for blue and black, so I guess it's
Yeah.
fine. I just don't like tracking those cards.
Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, that was my first thought, but then I realized it's a two-color deck, so then you always know. Because like you're just always going to choose black.
I'd get rid of Rogue's Passage. That's
Yeah, taps are colorless, and unblockability is not that important in this deck.
Gaia Reach Sanitarium. I also don't think is not. It's not the right type of draw you need.
Yeah, again, it's something that'd be better if we were playing with the graveyard more, but we're not. So, and we could make this deck more graveyard focused, but that would be a different direction.
What is Crystal Grotto?
Um, it's like a Scryland.
Oh, that's fine. I don't
Yeah.
mind that. So we need to cut 2 cards. Are we overcommitted on mana rocks?
I don't know. It feels hard in a deck like this to have too many.
Yeah. Okay. I might get rid of the Spectral Sailor.
Yeah, I agree with that because we have enough other ways to draw cards. It's just not what we want for this deck.
Oh, I would also. I know we're trying to cut cards, but I would add Talrend to this.
Oh yeah, if we're gonna go spellslinging tokens, which this player is, then Tolerant is a good card.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to still cut 2 cards. Okay, so how many protection spells do we have? So we have Armor of Shadows, Professor's Teaching, Dive Down, and do we have one more? I feel like there was one more.
Yeah, I think there
I
was
might.
one. You see
Oh
a
yeah,
guard
and you see a
approach.
guard approach. I would. I might cut. You see a guard's approach, and you find the villain's lair.
Yeah, I would definitely cut you find the Villain Slayer because uh, it's just not quite right for 3 mana. I'd rather run like a 4 mana spell like Dismiss that just draws me when I counter spells, or just play a more mana efficient counter spell now that we have draw. And you see a guard
Mhm.
approach. Yeah, I think we have enough protections. Let's just cut that and give this a try.
Yeah, I think the thing that will want to improve over time, or like this person will want to improve over time, is just kind of the raw potency of the cards that they're playing. So that'll be like playing things like Kindred Dominance in the sorcery spot, where like these more powerful wrath effects, or like Toxic Deluge. So it's really just kind of like as you get stronger sorceries and instants, kind of swapping them piecemeal.
So depending on the play group, this might be a hand I keep with just the intention of wrathing on turn 5. Like if
Yeah.
people just run, but that's not a
You
very
also have a
interesting
counter
hand.
spell.
Yeah, it's a pretty good. Let's just try it. It's like
I would
let's do
play
that.
out the
Yeah,
blue. No.
draw.
Well,
Yeah,
you'd
'cause
run
I
out the
do
island. His
or
Tainted
a
Isle only
swamp.
taps for blue or black once you have a swamp.
Yeah. All right, swamp. Oh, I guess. Well, yeah, we probably don't need a counter spell anything this early. Boom. Island.
I assume you probably do counter a turn 3 spell, though.
Yeah. And depending on how spicy out we are, maybe we'll counterspell Kadama's Reach or something. So play this, and then
I would I would Bident and then next turn Wrath,
yeah, that's what
then
I would do.
Lord.
I would do this, boom, and then usually most people have like put out their commanders and stuff by now, and so if that's happened, then yeah, I'd deadly cover up and Wrath.
Or yeah, you could also Curse of the Swine. Yeah,
Yeah, but now we
either's
draw.
good.
This is good, and then probably just
I think
play the commander. I think that's the best play right now. And the next
yeah.
turn, draw.
I would be tempted to cycle wish to see what other card I can draw into. Like hoping to draw into a better. instant or sorcery.
You don't want to
But I
just
guess you
draw
could just
4?
guess you could just draw 4, and that would be
Actually, the best thing to do in this game state is fly over at someone to draw a card off Bident.
yes.
Because you're not
Let's be good players.
Yeah. Cool. So we got a land.
I think so. I would actually pass, and I would just play Commander's Insight and draw 5 on someone else's at the end of someone's turn.
Yep.
Because you have 3 mana for the Commander's Insight, and you've cast your commander once to draw 5. And then you have a token.
4, 5.
At this point, I think.
Yeah,
The deck
feels like it's working.
It's a very slow start, though.
Yeah, that was a little slow, but like that's fine if you know you're gonna resolve that Wrath and like set all your opponents back.
I would totally keep this 2-land
Definitely.
hand.
Bath of Ancestry. Draw. Did this deck have Soul Ring in it?
I thought it did.
Okay.
I have
Island.
Charcoal Diamond.
Yeah, Charcoal Diamond. Draw.
Yeah, so
This will be tap, but Thought Vessel, Talisman, draw. So we definitely
rush out the commander.
Yeah, play the commander. Next turn, draw.
We're at 6 mana. So it's either draw 4, sit on the exclude and counter something, or Mind Spring to draw 4.
I'd draw 4 to try and get a land.
I would Mind Spring then. I like sitting on Commander's Insight.
That's true. It just gets better the longer you wait. So yeah, Mind Spring's better to draw 4 that way. Temple of Deceit, scry 1. I guess we can leave that on top for protection later.
Yeah.
The next turn, draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, technically we would like play this swamp, and then we could get out. We could wait, and at some point flash in Hullbreaker Horror, and we've also got this thing to keep our Hullbreaker Horror alive. And then
or to bounce a spell.
Yeah, that's basically good game.
Yeah, Hullbreaker is very good.
All right, let's try one more.
I would keep this hand just because it has Frantic Search.
Yeah, this would be a similar one. We actually can have a 3, a 4, and a 5 drop, and then like before, if we're in a play group where people are dropping things in the first 5 turns of the game, us just playing to wipe on turn 5 is really good. Island. Oh, Serum
Vision.
Draw a card. Scry 2. We'll put Mind Spring on the bottom. We have enough card draw.
Yeah.
But Sky
Diamond is great for turn 2 play.
So next turn we draw Island, Sky Diamond. Draw.
Sunken Hollow untapped. I would either play Talrand, or the Reconnaissance.
Yeah, it would depend on if I'm planning on wiping the board or not, but probably I'd be planning on wiping the board, so play Reconnaissance. Island, so it's only actually turn 4.
What would I do here? I would actually Frantic Search.
That's what I would do also.
Yeah.
No, I would Frantic Search. Unless people had a bunch of stuff out already, I would Frantic Search and then plan on casting this the next turn to wipe the board.
Yeah, so you have to hunt for swamps.
And then we untap 3. Oh, yeah, that's true too. So we got swamp. I think I already played the
You have to discard 2.
Yeah.
Probably the Talrand and the Curse?
Yeah, if we're going to wipe the board, well, the thing is, too, though, if we wipe the board in a couple more turns with this, like, that usually secures you the game. Most people's decks can't survive back-to-back board wipes.
Maybe the Curiosity Crafter, then.
Yeah. Okay. So...
But then... Okay, so this turn 4... Have we played a land? Can't remember now.
Yeah, we did. So...
I might just run out the commander.
Yeah, we could run out the commander, and the next turn we can like
Curse of the Swine. And you draw a card from the Reconnaissance, presumably.
From Reconnaissance mission, we draw a card.
Because you would attack.
So draw, and then we play. Did I already play land? Well, this also feels good because we've got board wipe and card draw. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think this
Yeah,
deck is working.
yeah, I like it. I think, yeah, just over time, as you want to invest in the deck, you might make an like kind of one for one swaps. So instead of the devious cover up, you play Toxic Deluge or Damnation. Just like more mana efficient is how you kind of improve the deck.
Yeah, it's nice when you have a budget deck like this that works from the very beginning because you can just keep it together forever and just like add in better cards as you get them.
Yeah, like I would at some point I would totally add the Archmage of Runes because that's the type of reducer I like. In that it's attached to another ability.
Yeah, it is 5 mana, but yeah, that's still good. I mean, Baral is. I'd rather run Baral just because it's only two.
There's also the 4 mana Archmage Emeritus, I think is what it's called. When it has Magecraft draw card, that's always good. Um,
Yeah,
and
and you could also buy all the different wraiths at some point if you want to make it a little more wraith focused.
I think the one thing that this deck is probably a little soft on right now still is kind of the Haymaker kind of closeout cards. So we added the Candlekeep inspiration as one. Um, but I would consider adding like Rite of Replication or more obvious one-sided board wipe.
What would
That'll
you target with Rite of Replication though?
Rite of Replication is often you would target something your opponent controls and just get 5 copies of something.
Yeah, that makes
Oh, this deck
sense.
should also be running Solemn Simulacrum
Yeah, I
just
thought
noticed it's
about
not.
that. But then we'll have to make two more cuts. So
I mean, the Rite of Replication, it's just it is a cool, powerful card.
yeah, I like playing with it a lot. It's one of my favorite blue cards in EDH.
I find it more interesting than Exsanguinate, although I understand why Exsanguinate is in there, this deck.
Yeah, Sanguinate. Sanguinate is actually just by default good in EDH and black
Oh,
decks.
it's super strong. It's just not interesting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's part of the problem. Is every time you make a deck and it has Exsanguinate in it, it's like you just always end up winning with it. It seems like, at least for like some of those
Yeah.
black life gain decks and stuff. You imagine doing other
Especially in,
things.
yeah, like black decks where it's like, oh, it runs Cabal Coffers
Yeah, I gotta burn
and
Cabal Coffers.
Urborg. And it's like,
Exsanguinate. Oh, I came up with this combo myself. Yeah, uh-huh. Cool. Wow, you're so smart. Make 20 mana and cast Exsanguinate.
yeah, I should really
I
drop
think we
that
will
5
drop
mana black.
Exclude because you're right. It is only a creature, and like we want,
It
especially in
runs
this
a
deck,
lot
we
of
want to
spot
be.
removal already.
Yeah, it runs the spot removal already, and we want to be like having the regular counter spells to protect our commander and stuff. Um,
I know we're cutting cards and then adding cards. It's like, oh, I would totally run Unwind, but it's a
you mean like rewind or unwind?
Unwind, which is the 3 mana counter target non creature spell and then untap 3 lands. It's just slightly cheaper. Uh,
Mm,
but
yeah, but we're already over.
yeah.
I would probably actually drop Murmuring Mystic because it's 4 mana just to get one blue birds, and we don't have that many ways to actually buff those into relevance.
Well, I actually would like to keep the token makers because it synergizes with the combat damage draw card things for running.
That's true, yeah.
Um, I would take out Mind Spring.
Mind Spring. Yeah, that's true. We
We
had
added
more than
enough draw.
enough. We had more than enough draw, like, so let's just drop that. Cool. So that seems like a good spot for this deck.
Yeah, seems fun. Who doesn't like playing spells and beating people up with wraiths?
Yeah, fun for us, not for our opponents. Counterspelling and blowing up their things. Cool. Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. And that's the deck.